Hello, welcome to another episode of Our Perspective. I'm your host, Sister Charity, and joining me is my co-host, John Sales. What's up, man?
Oh, man, I'm blessed and highly favored and highly blessed. However they say it.
Okay, well, put it this way, you blessed with God's favor. How about that?
Yes.
Okay, likewise, I am too. What you say?
I said I'll go with that one.
Oh, okay, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, we got to change it up. We just can't be saying what other people say because then we say it wrong. So if we say it from here, then we know it's right. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just enjoying my new studio, and everybody wants me to get rid of. I want the people to see my flat screen. That's not a flat, like it's got this back piece on it. It weighed like maybe 150 pounds. But what they don't understand is a plasma.
Oh, not a plasma.
Yeah, it was my wife's anniversary gift. Some things have sentimental value. Now, I think I put money into it is what I'm really trying to say. I paid $100 like an idiot when I could have took $100 and got a flat screen. I got this fixed.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna break again.
What?
But it hasn't broken again. I gotta roll out with it. You understand what I'm saying?
Is it a 90-inch? How big is the screen?
Oh, that's cute. 90 inch. It's not about the screen. It's about, it has a good picture. It was an anniversary gift that I got off the street for the low. So okay. I'm $100 then with it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Let me just say this for all our listeners, okay? Because you acting like you just got it when you got your studio. So I know you're talking about maybe 13 years ago.
No, they don't want me to have it. I'm hoarding right now. That's I'm hoarding.
Yeah.
And let it go.
Yeah, but I'm making it clear for our viewers that that's not something you just went out and purchased from May now. You actually got that like 13 years ago. And when it was in style. That's what I'm saying.
No, it was out of style when I got it.
You ain't supposed to say that though.
No, I'm gonna tell the truth. Always. I didn't know that it was outdated. It just seemed to have a good picture. Somebody had it and they needed money. And I just happened to have the money they needed. And I just got the TV that way. And I figured I'd give it to my wife because she had a little bitty TV.
Oh, that was sweet. That was sweet.
Yeah, it was the thought, but it broke. We put another 100 and we 200 into it. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
When I say me, I mean her, because she had. Yeah, I'm not getting rid of it. They want me to get rid of it. They want me to trash it.
No, no, you can't do that. It's some valuable parts inside. So put it up on eBay.
I just got my pride. I'm not gonna do it just because somebody want me to.
Right. But when you get around to it, we may have OfferUp or somebody come and take that off your hands. But
look, I got an antenna and I know this got like maybe 40, 50 stations on it that I never see.
Wow.
And it'd be like Disneyland for me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And nobody can hear me on this side of the house. This is my sanctuary. This is my little man cave. Got me a nice little orthopedic chair. I'm just happy right now. What are we gonna talk about?
Amen. You know what? I'm so happy you happy, and I'm so happy we don't have to look at that red and blue light. I'm just happy. I'm ecstatic.
Don't do that.
I'm just playing.
Don't do that to yourself because I'm
just kidding.
My room, I've been getting like a vibe in my room with the red and the blue. It's nice.
Okay. Well, look, I heard something profound that I like to talk about today. Just to get your perspective. And if you're new to our show, this show is all about your perspective, our perspective, the whole variety of perspectives that sometimes we ignore. So if you have a perspective about what we're about to talk about, please share it in the comments, and we appreciate it. Okay, and share it with somebody else. Okay, we'd like to hear their perspective as well. But what came to me today, and it was from my 22-year-old, and she said, "Mom, you can tell the health of a church by how the members respond or how they present themselves." In other words, because I'm not saying it exactly like she said it, but she said, you know, a hospital is good based on the patients. You know, if the patients are healthy, if the patients are happy, if the patients are coming out of there, you know, healed and everything, then you know that that's a good hospital. And so she was saying the same for the church. If people in the church are hurting, if people in the church are miserable, they're angry, they're bitter, and all of this other stuff, then you have to check the leadership. You know, you have to check the person that's over the ministry to make sure that they're hearing from God. Because and she kept using the analogy of the hospital and the church back and forth, but when you have a good doctor, a good surgeon, you know, that's a blessing. But when you have a bad surgeon, you don't allow that to stay because it's not good for your patients. So you get a new surgeon. So I thought, you know what, a lot of people don't want to even be connected to, unfortunately, God, because they think that in order to be connected to God, you got to go to a church. And that's a untruth that we need to really clear up. I'm talking about we as, you know, church people, and help people understand that God wants, he has so much for us, and he wants the best for us. And if you're going to a hospital that's not providing what you need in terms of your healing, in terms of your strength, whatever it is you need, then I encourage you to go to God, okay, until he places you someplace where that leadership is hearing from him. How about that? That was a sermon I didn't expect, but it was just profound.
You might be, well, that sermon, if you gave that sermon to the people in the congregation and you heard some snores, don't blame them. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
But for real, what's your perspective on? Do you feel like the people in the church today are getting what they need to grow and to really do what God said we're supposed to be doing?
Well, let me go to the first part of the location of the church she may have went to where this was going on. Those people need a church to go to too. And the hospital, if it's in a neighborhood where people is so badly injured that they can't be in there and get well, it doesn't really work like that, because doctors practice medicine. They don't know medicine. So when you go to a practice field, you never know what you're going to get from the people practicing. So, right. You know, I think it's more or less, if you live in a good neighborhood, then you really don't need the church anyway, because you're already winning. So you might go in there with different swagger, is what I'd like to say. So you can't really judge it like by that. I mean, it's leadership for sure, but if you already behind the 8 ball when you come in there and you don't even feel comfortable in the clothes you in, you just knew you had to get there. You know, we got to have church for them folk too.
Let me ask something, because you said, and maybe you didn't mean it the way you said it, so I want to really have you clarify. But you said the people who are winning don't need church. What is winning? What's that difference?
I didn't mean it like the people don't need it. The people that's going to church because of their faith or whatever, if they're already living in a good neighborhood, their prayers are being answered expeditiously. So with that being said, they go anyway, but their swagger is different. It doesn't mean that leadership is so good that they give them swagger. It means that God is working in their life and they have swagger because of it. So
Okay.
they would appear to look better than those people who look miserable and always talking about people and always got some stuff going on because of the location that they in. They can't get to the good people location because that would require transportation and stuff like that. So they got to go where the pastors say what he mean and mean what he say, church.
Okay, so let me ask this, because we got listeners and I really want people to understand your definition of certain words. So when you say swagger, are you talking about they got money?
No, swagger is like how they move, how they talk, if they happy. That's the clothing they wear, swag, the hat, jewels. You know them people. Come on, man.
No, I got you. I just want to make sure. I just want to make sure we're on the same page, because you were talking about they give swagger when they go, whatever. Anyway, what did you mean when you said? What did you mean?
Different. Have you been to a black church in a ghetto and there's a lady in there and she don't know how she gonna pay a light bill? It ain't enough food stamps. The kids, and then she had to sell some of them. The kids is hungry. Matter of fact, the kids was hungry before she even got to church. They was hungry. She not gonna have that swagger. And we ate at Denny's before we came here, or we going to Denny's when we leave swagger. So, she is gonna be a little bit on edge, and she's not gonna have that look, but she in there praying the hardest. And
so
how it began, but the black church and any other ghetto church of any other nationality is a different church than uptown churches.
Okay, so you said a couple of things. You said people that live in a good neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? They don't necessarily need to go to the church in the hood. I guess was that what you were saying?
No, okay. They
You said they got it all. I mean, they got what they need, so they don't need it.
They got it, but they didn't. I don't know if they got it from praying. I can't be in the room with them, but I'm saying things are going good for them. If they chose not to go to church, you could understand, but they go to church in spite of it. And when you see them in church going because they want to go and see what everybody got on and see what everybody wearing, see what people driving, it's a lot of that.
Okay.
What I'm saying, classism is this class. If you say the church is failing because of leadership, it could be failing because of location. Where's the church located?
I didn't say it was failing because of leadership.
I'm just saying the conversation is about failing churches and leadership and what people look like and discernment of those people, what they look like compared to other people's churches or whatever that's ran right or have leadership.
I got you. You kind of took it deeper than what I was saying. So I'm really talking about people not hearing from God. Okay. That could be in the ghetto, that could be in the suburbs. When you don't hear from God, the people suffer. And you talked about the woman who maybe didn't eat and maybe her kids didn't eat, and then she's there and she's praying and everything. All I'm saying is it's important for leaders, people who have a relationship with God and leading other people to God. It's important that they hear from God. That's basically what I was saying. A specialist, a surgeon that specializes in their craft, they know the ins and outs. They may be, 60, 70 years old, and they've been doing it for a long time. They're not going to be practicing like somebody who just started yesterday, or somebody who just became a doctor to please somebody, or somebody who just became a doctor to prove that they could do it. You know what I'm saying? There's different facets. But if we don't hear from God, then the people suffer. And I think that's what's going on in the church, because people who are hurting are going to hear from God. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Yeah, but I wasn't going against that. This is not about if you have bad leadership or you have good leadership. I just was going by location. All I heard when you said it was, some people not getting what they need. They're not eating. They're not being edified. They're not getting it from that person or whatever. You could be anywhere
Right.
based on that and not the person just be lousy at it. But I think that's a place for congregation. So if you congregate, you're supposed to be in good spirits with your brethren and your sister. But if your mindset ain't right,
Right.
and your conditions is different, then yeah, you might need to eat a little bit more than others,
Right.
and might not have the be able to facilitate your hunger. So yeah, I understand what she was getting at. Like, it matters where you go for the energy you receive. So yeah, you want to go where the energy is good.
Well,
But
I want to use where God is speaking to the people. How about that?
right, but yeah, but you
Because you
don't need
say
to
energy, I want to be specific in what
yeah,
I'm talking about.
but you don't have to go anywhere for God to speak to you, and you don't
Thank
have to
you.
depend on some dude that God spoke to, and you wasn't there to hear what He's told him. You just got to take His word that He told him that. God will speak to us all if we open our hearts and our minds. So yeah,
That's
we
that's
don't
what.
need Him for that.
Thank you, and that's what I'm saying. That's where I started at. Is that some people are going to a place where people are not hearing from God when they could just go to God directly. And when you hear from God, God will tell you what to do, how to honor Him, how to glorify Him, how to lead His people. That's all I'm saying. But a lot of people are not going to church. They're not going to God. They just said, you know what, I'm done with it.
A lot of people are not doing a lot of things with each other that we used to do with one another because nobody trusts nobody. Nobody feels like, can I just be myself or do I have to conform to what this person would like me to be?
Right.
So a lot of times we'll just stay amongst ourselves or just deal with the different cliques that we can tolerate. And I blame it on social media because why don't we like each other? If we didn't have that phone, trust me, we'd be going somewhere talking to people to be amongst people. But that phone, that phone will tell you what to do.
Right. And it's not just social media, it's the technology, today's AI, the artificial intelligence. Now look, now this is deep. We are using artificial intelligence, but they got the whole truth on us. What we're using is artificial, but the information that we give is the truth. So people need to really understand they're so free to just put information into their computer, into these apps, into this and into that, but they don't realize that information is being received and it could hurt you in the end. Give an example. There's an app where you upload your pictures to it, and then it takes your pictures and it makes you really beautiful and exotic looking. But in the fine print,
they make your pictures sing too. They got apps that
yeah,
and they'll sing a certain "What is love, baby, don't hurt me."
Right.
You see a little baby singing that grown-up song, yeah, that's
Right.
fun. But that's
but
what
here's
the influence when they get that information out of your phone because you signed an agreement to give it to them. They know your whole, and you up there laughing at the little baby singing.
And guess what else? This app, because I read it, because somebody told me to get it, and it. So I read the fine print, and it said, "You authorize us to use your photo in any way we want." Now, can you imagine your face being used in a dating site or whatever? We just have to be wise, and we can't be so quick with this technology. If I mention something, and this is real, if I mention something, like say, for example, I mention Dairy Queen, all of a sudden Dairy Queen gonna pop up on my YouTube channel.
I just thought of the weirdest thing, like they would use it for like Christian Pornhub starring Sister Charity, and then have your picture up there. That That would be horrible. I don't
That
even
would
know.
be just, that
But,
would just, yeah.
but we got to be smarter than that.
Right.
And you're absolutely right. We should take our phones sometimes and see how many feet away from it we can get a day. How many feet can I leave that phone, and for how long can I leave it? You know what I mean? Just put it down and walk away from it.
Right.
And see if the signal you start hearing the voices in your head. You know,
you hearing voices? No, I'm just kidding.
You is too. You hearing me right now coming out that phone. Ain't that a phone? It's a phone somewhere around there.
Well, it's technology. So we on, you know, we're using technology. Well, you're using your phone, but I'm using, you know, a computer. So, but the bottom line I wanted to make with the whole hospital analogy and church analogy, I'm not knocking churches. I'm getting ready to close. I just want people to know I'm not knocking churches. What I'm saying is all of us have to hear from God so that we can help other people, just like the specialist at the hospital, the doctor hears from the specialist and they do what the specialist say do because the specialist is experienced. We have to hear from God and do what God tells us to do so we can help the people that come into our churches, that come into our homes, our community, our presence. How about that? And then if you're not getting what you need, then you need to go directly to the source, which is God, and seek him above all else. So I just wanted to say that.
I would go, my opinion is I would go to God first.
Yeah.
Before I go to anybody.
That's
Keep him first.
That's
and
true.
A lot of times you leave him, he's never left you.
Yeah.
But I just want to say this. If he don't answer you, it's because he's talking to me. And sometimes I'm selfish. I keep him for a minute or two longer than I should. I have that kind of relationship with mine. You understand? Okay. So we have the same guy, just give him a break sometimes because you might be clogging the line yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me just tell you, we serve an almighty, all-present, all-powerful, all-knowing God who is not like us, who can only handle one or two conversations. God is sovereign. He's supreme. He's over everything. And he's waiting on us. He's waiting on us to contact him and he will answer. But, you know, I want to encourage everybody to go to BibleGrub.com. I'll put it in the link, put the link in the bottom. But go to Bible Grub. God is real. And that's where I do these little Bible studies, little short Bible studies. Just wanted to put a plug there. So
I don't do anything yet. I have a YouTube channel coming out pretty soon. As soon as I get this studio and get this, whatever this is, out of the way, yeah, I'll be back on YouTube trying to do some comedy.
Okay. All right.
Comedy to the masses.
Well, we look forward to hearing your comedy. We really need a good laugh in these days. Okay.
You heard some today. See the laugh.
Oh, no, just kidding. Just kidding.
It wasn't funny, that whole Pornhub thing. That might have been a stretch, but they do listen to your phone.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
I took that Pornhub serious, so I don't know what you're talking about. That wasn't funny. That was serious, but
they really could. They really could do it. You could mess around with these apps, and then you go to sue them, and they got your signature, raggedy signature, saying you're okay.
Yeah, right. So anyway, we're out of time. I really appreciated this time, just kind of sharing my perspective and hearing yours. And again, if you have a perspective, we'd love to hear yours as it relates to hospitals, churches. You know, the church is a hospital for sick people, by the way. And so those of us who are healed need to help those who are sick. So anyway, I appreciate you. Thank you all so much for joining us for this episode of Our Perspective, and we will see you next week. God bless.
Peace.